The Pride honored several different seniors who are moving on to bigger and better things. Of course, Alex Ashton, the graduate goalkeeper, was honored. Etienne Bodie, Felix Smith-Halle, Peter Meyer, Oscar Ramsey, Adam Saville, Jesse Schleiper, Leonard Seufert, and Gennaro Velarde all honored before that match. And of course, this will be the last regular season home match they will play on this turf here this evening. So it should be a fantastic matchup. Petter Soelberg in the smack dab in the middle of the field, inside that midfield circle with the ball at his feet. He's getting ready to start off. For goalkeepers here in this match for the Hofstra Pride, Alex Ashton, solid black, Hofstra going across the chest in white, solid white numbers front and back, no last names. And for the Columbia Lions, for the first time this year, Matthew Goodman takes his spot in the net, all neon green with a solid black numbers on the back and front, and the Columbia C in the upper right corner of the front of the jersey. We are underway here in this matchup. Hofstra starts off with the ball, tries to advance it up the pitch, and after moving it up the far sideline, it goes out of play past the goal line. Last touch by a Columbia Lion, and just moments into this matchup, we see Storm Strong and trot over to the left corner and get ready to take a corner kick. Trying to direct a little bit of traffic in the box here, as several Pride players shift closer, then farther away from the net. Now they shift closer, sends it towards the net, and this one headed away by the Columbia defense. But Adam Saville still tries to head it towards a teammate and finally does get it over to Luca Tausch, one of the two Hofstra Pride captains this evening, along with George O'Malley. Now Columbia has it at their feet. Coming up with it on the near side, it is number 16, Danny Larinetto. He tries to find an open teammate, eventually gets it near side to Max Gonzalez, and then he gets it to the back line to Beto Carrillo. Carrillo tries to send it farther up the near side and just a little too far out of the reach of Nick Marcin. And the Pride now going to throw it in near side in their own half in the early going. Headed by Vowinkle. Now Storm Strong and tries to advance it forward, but instead is taken away by Gonzalez. Gonzalez plays it back to his keeper in Goodman, who then takes his time and boots it out of play past the far sideline, and it goes into the parking lot. A couple cars coming behind us here at Hofstra Soccer Stadium. Had to make sure they didn't meet that soccer ball, but everything seems to be okay. Now Leonard Seufert plays it in off a throw-in for the Pride. George O'Malley, high arcing kick. Drops in the Columbia end, and now Petter Soelberg gets ahead on it over to Matthew Vowinkle. As we mentioned pregame, Matthew Vowinkle, 8 consecutive Hofstra Pride goals. No one else on the team has scored since he has scored these past 8. It's a feat you don't really hear of too much throughout collegiate soccer, but Matthew Vowinkle seems to be one of the hottest players in the nation and definitely in the Colonial Athletic Association heading into this match. Hofstra, far side, Hendrik Hebeker from a sharp angle tries to skip one on net, and it is scooped up by Matthew Goodman, and now he awaits a little bit of clearance here to send a goal kick out towards midfield.
Yeah, fast start for the Hofstra Pride so far. They've been aggressive. They've kept the ball in enemy territory. Let's see where this goes.
In the 3rd minute of action here, still scoreless between the Hofstra Pride and Columbia Lions. And George O'Malley misplayed that for a brief second, eventually gets it back after a Columbia defender over-pursued. And now the Pride working into the Columbia end. But quickly the Lions work it back in. Leonard Seufert had to hustle back. Nice little bicycle kick over his head there to get it and advance it forward for the Pride. Now Tausch plays it back to the freshman Frederick Reaper. And Reaper trying to play it up to Vowinkle, gets ahead on it. Now finds Hendrik Hebeker left wing. Hebeker trying to go outside to inside, makes a defender fall. Nice little spin move there, enters the top of the box on the left side, and then tries to give it off to another teammate, but cannot, and Columbia takes over. Now they begin their attack up the far sideline. Trying to move something, the Hofstra defense pestering, but nonetheless Columbia still able to move. Pass sent farther towards the middle of the field, and now eventually it's worked almost dead center, and then passed near side back to Gonzalez for the Lions. Now here's Carrillo. Carrillo trying to make some fancy moves here, but Hofstra takes it away. And here's Storm Strong in near sideline. Tried to boot it a little farther forward, but instead it went out of play before he was able to get it past the midfield line. And Columbia is going to throw it in the Hofstra half near side. Max Gonzalez a little too quick on that one, and the official blows it dead as we are here in the 5th minute of action at Hofstra Soccer Stadium between the Columbia Lions and Hofstra Pride. Throw-in led to a pass farther up the pitch, which was then kicked out of play by Reaper near side. So Columbia quickly throws in, and eventually it works its way back to Cyrus Simino on the back line. Lions played all the way back to their keeper, Goodman. Now standing in the first A of the CAA logo, right half near side. Columbia has it, and it tries to advance up the pitch. A lot of headers back and forth between both sides until eventually it settles near the feet of Danny Larinetto. And Columbia really trying to push something here. They got a little bit of a break. Entering from the right side. Shot on net. Saved by Alex Ashton on a diving attempt. And then a rebound try by Columbia. Just not quick enough. And the Pride going to breathe a quick sigh of relief early on here as we have entered now the 6th minute of action. And Alex Ashton already looking sharp early on.
Yeah, only 5 minutes in, Ashton with a highlight reel save right there. Let's see where this match keeps going. I'm expecting a good match tonight, Andrew.
Absolutely. Should be a fantastic one. Alex Ashton looking like that. You definitely know he's in his best shape and he is ready to go and make it a fantastic one for the Pride. As now after the ball went past the goal line, he sends a goal kick out to midfield. Vowinkle plays it, taps it to Seufert. Now Seufert to Strong and near side. Underneath the C in the CAA logo, right half near side. Tries to bend it towards Vowinkle at the top. Now to Petter Soelberg. Nice little inside to outside. Shoots and he scores! Petter Soelberg gets the Pride on the board in the 6th minute and opens the scoring. It's now 1-0 Hofstra.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I was expecting a good match, and then you get that piece of athletic wizardry on the count of Petter Soelberg and Matthew Vowinkle. I tell you, that's one of the best goals from them I've seen in a while.
The South Carolina transfer making all the right moves there and able to just get it past the tips of Matthew Goodman, who dove to his right and curled inside that far post to give the Pride a 1-0 lead in the early going. And that's exactly the start you wanted to see, Tony, because now here, last match of the year, you wonder if they're still going to be up for it knowing that the CAA tournament is just around the corner. Well, it looks like they've answered the call early.
Yeah, that's right. They're playing with all the heart they should be going into the CAA tournament. And you know what? If today's a sign of what's to come, I'm loving it.
Columbia, a deep boot that rolls all the way down to Ashton. Now he's able to scoop it up. Tries to direct a little bit of traffic again. Looking for somebody. Now gives it a big boot out towards the midfield stripe. A nice header there by Simino of Columbia. Pride and Lions both looking to pick it up here near the midfield line. Some tough defense there by Hendrik Hebeker, but didn't work out as much as he hoped. Now it's played to the back line where Gonzalez has it near side for the Lions. And the boot sent farther up the pitch off the foot of will look to be John Ned. Pride get it back though. George O'Malley. Chips it far side. Trying to find none other than Shane Salmon. And now the Pride work it deeper into the Columbia end. It's Hebeker trying to make some fancy moves again coming from that left wing side, but a good sliding kick there by the Columbia defense to get it out of play. And that momentarily breaks up the Hofstra scoring chance here in the 8th minute of action.
Yeah, you saw Hebeker try to go at it again with, keeping Hofstra's momentum going, but some good defense from Columbia holds that momentum right in its place.
Throw-in coming here from Shane Salmon of the Pride, far side in the Columbia end, and immediately defended well by Columbia and kicked out of play. So again, Salmon to set up another throw-in from that far sideline.
Columbia playing a good defensive game so far, I tell you that.
Throws it in, header there by Reaper, advanced it a little bit farther into the box. Now here comes Tausch from the top of the box, and that shot is blocked. Gonzalez trying to beat out Storm Strong and in a foot race near side to get to the ball, but cannot, and in fact kicks it even farther away from himself and out of play. So now the Pride to throw it in yet again, and Shane Salmon hustling all the way from that far sideline where he just made the throw in to come near side and do the same honors.
Yeah, we're seeing it from Columbia a little bit, trying to really nail Hofstra down where they stand so they can get a chance to score and march the ball upfield.
Salmon throws in, headed there by Reaper, trying to keep it in as the Pride, and instead Columbia kept it in by mistake, and Goodman, for Columbia's sake, was able to snatch it out of the air and again stop a near Pride scoring chance. So now the Lions try to advance here. It's Andrew Stevens near side, lost it for a brief second. Now here's Hendrik Hebeker, and Hebeker again trying to make something happen, loses it for a brief second, chips it back over to Petter Soelberg at the semicircle above the box, tries to cross right side or near side to Storm Strong, and it's broken up by Columbia, but eventually gets back to Leonard Seufert. Seufert to Vowinkle, who gives it ahead, and now Hebeker picks it up far wing. Shane Salmon with a boot from far wing, gets it into the box, and Storm Strong and almost had a fantastic chance right there had the Columbia defender not been standing in front to get a piece of that shot and send it out of play.
Yeah, might have been trying to do a little too much with that goal. Got a little too much boot to it, sent it sailing right over the pipes.
And it was briefly a fortuitous bounce there. Shane Salmon, all he tried to do was just get it into the box, and it bounced right towards the feet of Storm Strong, and who again, with a little bit of a defensive effort by the Columbia Lions, just could not square it up enough and gets it over the net instead. Now Goodman gives it a boot, sends it out towards midfield. Pride play it just past the midfield line in their own end. And Columbia trying to get on it, but Hendrik Hebeker is the first one to get to it in the Columbia end. It's Seufert near side, trying to make something happen, and does. Gives it over to Strong, and now a little give and go back to Seufert. Doesn't connect, as Gonzalez took it away for the Lions. Now it's sent back by Ogundeyin. And then eventually Columbia tries to get it away from their own end and instead end up booting it out of play near side. Leonard Seufert to set up a throw-in. He does so, and is quickly kicked right back out of play by Cyrus Simino. So again, the Pride try it. This time a little bit better resistance met from the Lions. Storm Strong trying to work it away from a pair of Lions defenders, and then Max Gonzalez heads it out of play upon Strongen's attempt to further it in the Columbia end.
Yeah, Columbia doing a good job keeping Hofstra confined to this part of the pitch. They're having a little bit of trouble trying to get it back towards the goal.
Shane Salmon now going to give Leonard Seufert a little bit of a rest here on the near side throw-in, and he's going to come in and make another throw-in from just under the second A in the CAA logo, right half near side. Throw in right into the box. Reaper couldn't get a head on it, but it was briefly headed by a Lions defender. Now gets deeper into the box. Pride looking for something here. Header on net, doesn't make it, and now sticking out his foot is O'Malley, and he can't tip it home either. And it goes past the goal line out of play. Goal kick coming up for Goodman, but again, the Pride swarming early on here as we are just 12 minutes. In fact, we're in the 12th minute of action here at Hofstra Soccer Stadium. 1-0 Hofstra Pride. And of course, we saw it was a 6th-minute goal by Petter Soelberg that opened up the scoring for the Pride, and now Columbia looking to just try to get it out of their end in order to try and answer back. Kick out to midfield, gets headed by Adam Saville, then Columbia tries to send it back, headed by Tausch. Again, they send it back into the Hofstra end, and Reaper gets a head on it, and eventually it winds up at the feet of Adam Saville, where it's played forward to Vowinkle. He taps it to Soelberg, the lone goal scorer early on, and Soelberg is blatantly tripped up there, takes a little bit of a tumble, and now looks to be briefly writhing in pain. We'll see if he gets up quickly. Looks like he will. But definitely was not looking to get tripped up there, and the officials making a good call, with the Pride now getting their first free kick of the evening.
Yeah, at that point, that you got to think that's maybe a little bit of desperation on Columbia's part just to get something, anything, to get it to Hofstra's end of the pitch.
And as we say that, Soelberg now trots towards the bench. Looking to get looked at possibly by the trainers. Adam Saville, Storm Strong, and standing over the ball for the free kick here. A little farther out than above that semicircle atop the box. And it looks like Etienne Bodie is going to make his way into the match for Petter Soelberg. So Storm Strongen going to give it a boot. Saville didn't move, sends it in towards the box. Vowinkle heads it on net, and Goodman moves to the right and is able to jump into the air and snatch it out of the air in order to stop that scoring chance for the Pride. And now Columbia tries to move it. It's Gonzalez near sideline, trying to give it up to Simino. Back to Gonzalez. Now into the middle of the field where it can be controlled by Larinetto. Sends it back towards the back line. And now eventually they try to work it forward at the far sideline, but the Pride, some tough defense there as Adam Saville sticks his leg out and deflects that one out of play. Breaking up the Columbia rush, but now a quick throw in here from Columbia. Sees the ball eventually make its way to the back line yet again. And they'll regroup and try for another rush. Nice little lead pass up the pitch. Looked like it was going for Avi Eller, who just could not get ahead on it before George O'Malley did. And now the Pride trying to keep it in far sideline and try to move it farther up the pitch. It's Etienne Bodie. He gives it up, and Columbia begins to try to move forward with it, but instead he'll pass a little too far, and Frederick Reaper is able to send it up to Storm Strong and in his office on the right wing. Luka Tausch gives back to Seufert. Seufert tries to advance and give a pass up to Vowinkle, but is taken away by Columbia. Again, we see Larinetto in the midfield trying to work with it. To Gonzalez near side. Now it's Simino. To Gonzalez again. Tries to give up to Marcin. And just a little too far away was Marcin. Reaper tries to kick it away. Instead kicks it off the shins of Marcin and out of play. So the Pride awarded a free throw in their own end near sideline.
Yeah, now at this point of the match, it's Hofstra's turn to be the spoiler. Columbia was playing some good defense back there at their end of the pitch. Now it's the Pride's turn.
And Columbia looking to keep it in the Hofstra half. Kept right on that midfield line. And trying to move forward with it now is Will Todd. Todd gives up to Marcin. Now back to Todd at the midfield line. And near side he tries to get it even farther up the pitch, but the Pride again on it defensively and break up the attempt. Storm Strong and on it now near sideline where it's aggressively so booted out by Marcin. And Leonard Seufert again going to take a throw in here as we are just about 15 minutes into this match. That's right, we're about to enter the 16th minute of play here at Hofstra Soccer Stadium with the Hofstra Pride leading the Columbia Lions 1-0. Andrew Murdolo, Tony Puglisi bringing you all the action right here on GoHofstra.com. Again, last home regular season match and just regular season match in general for the Hofstra Pride is here against these Columbia Lions. 22nd all-time meeting between the two programs. Columbia, a throw-in coming up far side here in front of their own bench on the right half. Thrown in quickly and then quickly defended by the Pride. And in fact, it was even misplayed by Columbia, and the Pride get a throw-in in front of that Columbia bench. Throwing gets behind the Columbia defenders for a brief moment. But now the Pride going to get another one right back as Shane Salmon runs back towards the sideline to pick up the loose ball and will now send it back in for the Pride with a throw-in. Pride trying to line it all up here. Etienne Bodie makes his way very deep into the box, almost standing next to the keeper Goodman. Salmon with the throw-in. Nice header there by Frederick Reaper. But it can't get all that farther than the top of the box. Now Tausch eventually has it at his feet. Gives to O'Malley. O'Malley tried to cross it over to Bodie, but it's taken away by the Lions defense. Here they come up the far side, trying to get something started. But the Pride again with some stout defense. Shane Salmon gets in the way of that pass and sends it into the Columbia end. Etienne Bodie also gets in front of another pass far sideline and breaks it up just enough where the Pride are able to gain it back for a brief moment, but now Columbia turns it back around the other way. Here comes Marcin. Marcin left wing side, looking for a teammate. Doesn't realize Gonzalez is behind him, but tries to chip it towards the box and does not do so as well as he had hoped as it lands directly out of play past the goal line, and Alex Ashton going to set up for another goal kick.
All right, a little bit of back and forth from both squads so far, especially Columbia trying desperately to get back into the Hofstra half of the pitch, and maybe this is the push they need once Alex Ashton finishes this goal kick.
17th minute of action done. We are now heading into the 18th, and again the Hofstra Pride lead the Columbia Lions 1-0 on the strength of a 6th minute Petter Soelberg goal to get the action going. Ashton sends it out towards the midfield line. Salmon tries to advance for a streaking Matthew Vowinkle, who is drawing defense from two different Lions players. And then eventually it's knocked down and kicked out of play by Columbia, awarding the Hofstra Pride another throw-in from the far sideline in front of that Columbia bench right half.
Got to tell you, 4 shots already for Hofstra and only 1 for the Lions. That's got to tell you how well the Hofstra defense has been doing so far.
Petter Soelberg back into the match for Etienne Bodie. Looks like everything he was dealing with after he was tripped up earlier in the match seems to be good enough. But now, as we say, getting tripped up, here comes a Columbia Lions player tripped up, and quickly Columbia on the free kick tries to get things started again. Strongen eventually gets it out of his feet and gives back to Soelberg at midfield. And a kick goes all the way back towards the keeper, Ashton. And he has no problem stepping up and sending it deep into the Columbia end. Saville, top of the midfield circle, gives to Seufert, bottom of the midfield circle. Now gives over to Strongen below the CAA logo near sideline. Seufert trying to make something happen near sideline. Gets the ball stripped from him by not one but two different Columbia defenders. And now the Lions try to break something out, starting near sideline where it's Marcin. Marcin back to Gonzalez, trying to keep it away from Strongen. He works it to the back line for Todd. And Todd kicks it over the midfield line, but does not stay there long as Salmon is able to head it back into the Columbia end. Now far sideline, it's Simino trying to work it farther up the pitch, and it's Madigan, Rory Madigan, trying to start something here for Columbia. Tries to send a lead pass up for his teammate in Gumbaye, and that will not connect and go out of play past the goal line for an Ashton corner, or rather goal kick.
Tell you what, these Hofstra Pride, they're playing aggressive right now. They've been playing aggressive all match so far. We're almost halfway through the first half, and so far I don't see them slowing down anytime soon. Impressive display from everybody on the pitch so far.
It's been all Hofstra early on here in the 20th minute. Again, they lead 1-0 against the Columbia Lions on the final day of regular season play in the CAA. And for the Hofstra Pride, they're just looking to end the year on a good note before heading to Harrisonburg, Virginia for the CAA tournament on Friday, where at 1 o'clock they will take on the Delaware Fighting Blue Hens. But for now, it's the Columbia Lions. They got it going here, and they, again, have the 1-0 lead as we are just about to hop into the 21st minute of action. Petter Soelberg briefly looked like he broke that pass up. Eventually he does get to Vowinkle. Now he gives back to Soelberg, and Soelberg, who already has the lone goal of this match, now tries to work it closer to the near sideline and is tripped up by Simino, giving the Hofstra Pride another free kick opportunity.
Man, yet another free kick opportunity for the Pride. Let's see if they can capitalize with this one. Haven't got too much out of that so far. The Petter Soelberg goal didn't come of it, so we'll see. They're in Columbia territory right now. We'll see if they can make something happen.
Setting up the free kick in a spot between the edge of the CAA logo right half and the top right corner of the box. It's Adam Saville giving a kick and gets it right into the chest of Matthew Goodman, who was waiting with open arms to hold on to that one. And the Pride now going to have to thwart a Columbia offensive push here. Gonzalez near sideline. Gives it up, now gets it right back from his teammate Beto Carrillo. And it goes out of play with Leonard Seufert about to throw it back in for the Pride underneath the CAA logo. Does throw it in. Vowinkle couldn't get a head on it. However, the Pride are able to work it towards the middle where it's then picked up by Columbia. Pass over to Rory Madigan, far side on the back line. And here come the Lions. They're trying to work something in here. Get it just past the midfield line. And then Shane Salmon making contact with a Columbia defender. Forces him to the turf. And Columbia gets a free kick just on the other side of the midfield line in Hofstra territory. Right off the free kick, though, Hofstra getting it back. But then it falls right back at the feet of a Columbia attacker in Simino. Simino plays a little bit of back and forth with Madigan. And then sends it far side to near for Max Gonzalez. Gonzalez trying to work it out from the near sideline, works it towards the middle of the field, and then hits a three-hopper, make it four, to Alex Ashton, who just stops it with his foot, awaits the hustle of Avi Eller for Columbia, and then picks it up just a few steps before he gets there. And now he looks to send it out towards midfield. Not only does he get it towards midfield, he gets it past it, with Matthew Vowinkle getting a header on to try to move it forward for the Pride. But Luka Tausch stepping up. Fantastic job there defensively, turning defense to offense into the box. Just rolls one on net with his foot. And Goodman had to drop down to make sure that didn't go by. But great individual effort there by Luka Tausch. And Tony, that's why he's wearing the captain's armband.
Absolutely, beyond any doubt. Luka Tausch has been the heart and soul of this team for Lord knows how many years, and that display right there, that display of athleticism, is exactly why.
Columbia quickly taking it away here, now trying to move it from the middle of the field to the far sideline, but the pass no doubt eludes, Keenan Foley, and it goes out of play. Hofstra to throw it in their own half, far sideline.
Hey, but first time they've thrown it in from their half of the pitch in a while, Andrew. Their defense has been stellar so far.
Here in the 24th minute of play, still 0 on the board for the Columbia Lions. For the Hofstra Pride, a important one coming off the foot of Petter Soelberg back in the 6th minute. Columbia looking to answer here, though. Sent far sideline. Avi Eller tries to cross it towards the middle. And it's blocked by the Hofstra defense, and Storm Strong now sends it up to Soelberg. Soelberg trying to find Seufert, streaking down the right side, but it's broken up nicely by Gonzalez of Columbia. Then Soelberg kicks it away from a Columbia attacker. He falls to the turf. Play continues, and here comes Hendrik Hebeker, far side. Hebeker drops over to Vowinkle. He tries to send it through the box, gets it through the goal mouth, but no one else was home, and Gonzalez is going to try to move it the other way now for Columbia. Plays a little bit of give and go with Nick Marcin, and then as he tries to advance it farther up the near side, he sends it out of play, and the Pride now, again, with a near side throw incoming from Leonard Seufert.
Man, how do you like pace of play? Seems like it's going quick with how aggressive these guys have been playing so far. Almost the entire game taking place in the Columbia end of the pitch, and it doesn't look to slow down anytime soon.
Seufert gets it in. Pride trying to keep it deep, but Simino had other ideas for Columbia. High arcing boot finds its way into the Hofstra half. Avi Eller putting on some tough pressure there on George O'Malley. And O'Malley has nothing else to do but just send it out of play into the Hofstra bench, far sideline. And now with about 20 minutes left in this first half, Pride still lead it 1-0. Couple substitutions coming here. So a pair of substitutions there for Columbia. And now play restarts. Hendrik Hebeker able to knock it down and now tries to move it towards the middle of the pitch. Loses it for a brief second, but Soelberg regains and gives back to Salmon, who then can't push it any farther up as his pass attempt is blocked by Columbia. But the good news is he gets to throw it in from that exact same spot, far sideline.
Another opportunity for an offside throw in. Let's see if they can make something of this one.
Salmon gives it a toss. And now Columbia trying to play it and work it. Storm Strong in those steps in the way of a long pass that doesn't make it to its intended target. Soelberg drops to Saville. Saville wasn't ready for the drop. And now it has to be taken by Luka Tausch, who gives to Seufert near sideline. Seufert trying to stay away from Gonzalez of Columbia. Now Reaper. High arcing curling kick that goes from near side to smack dab in the middle of the Columbia end. Now Salmon gives it up to Soelberg. Soelberg top of the box, shoots again, and Petter Soelberg with a second goal in this match here with 18:40 to go in the first half.
How do you like that? He's been finishing everything so far today. Fast ball movement, they're getting it to him, and the second he gets it, shoots it right between the pipes of the Columbia net. Impressive. Impressive to say the least game for Petter Soelberg so far.
And Tony, you take a look now for Petter Soelberg, a fantastic season for this Hofstra Pride team. The coaches preseason raved about how solid a player he is at the midfield for this Hofstra Pride team. But when it comes down to it, now 6 goals on the season, 5 and 6 both coming in this match, and of course points 11 through 14 all coming off of those goals as well. 14 now on the season. And for this Hofstra Pride team, this is the jolt of energy you want. Because again, we mentioned how you wonder what they would come out like here in this match. Well, we now have the answer, and Petter Soelberg looks to be the one who's really getting it done as well, at least on the score sheet.
That's right. We talked about how they needed to come in this match swinging, especially against an opponent like Columbia, who they've struggled against in the past. And you know what? Petter Soelberg took that narrative and he chucked it out the window. They're dominating this match so far.
So now with 18 to go, Alex Ashton going to send it all the way past midfield. Matthew Vowinkle gets a head on it. Petter Soelberg, who just seems to be a magnet for that soccer ball this evening, continues to have it at his feet and then dishes far sideline, where eventually Hendrik Hebeker loses it out of play. But Shane Salmon's going to walk over and throw it back in for the Pride at about the top of the box extended far sideline. So early on, Tony, we've talked about it a couple times. The Hofstra Pride really showing a lot of energy in the early going. And not a lot of time has been seen with the ball in front of powder blue jerseys in the Hofstra half.
Yeah, absolutely. Their defense has done an amazing job, to say the least. They've been relying heavily on their offense, especially from players like Matthew Vowinkle. It's good to see a game going almost in the opposite direction.
So Luka Tausch, nice slide tackle there, starts a nice chance for the Pride. Hebeker sends it into the box from the left side, and then eventually trying to get back on top of it looked to be Luka Tausch. He couldn't move anything with it. Now eventually Jason Ramirez, who has now come into the game, or in the match rather, for the Hofstra Pride, tries to make something work. Long pass by Columbia into the Hofstra half, broken up by Leonard Seufert, and sent far side to Salmon. Taken away quickly, though, by Madigan of the Lions. And now a player falls to the turf for Columbia. Looks to be Simino. And Columbia going to get a free kick out of this.
They haven't gotten as much in the way of offense as the Hofstra Pride. We'll see if airing this ball out into the Hofstra end of the pitch could work out well for the Columbia Lions. Excuse me.
Just as you say that, Tony, they try to work it around far sideline, and it goes out of play, giving the Pride another throw-in here from their own half, far sideline in front of their bench. Just about 16 minutes to go here in half number one. The Hofstra Pride now with a 2-0 lead on the Columbia Lions, thanks to a pair of goals from Petter Soelberg, as he just recently changed the scoreboard yet again with his second of the match and sixth on the season. Ball goes out of play off a Columbia foot in the Columbia half. Quickly throwing it in is Salmon. Vowinkle tries to head it into the box. Can't do that as another counter header comes from a Columbia defender. Tausch, near side to Seufert. Now here's Ramirez near side. Seufert keeps it in. Great defensive effort by him there as Columbia just tried to clear it out, but he stood tall and firm in front. Now Reaper tries to curl it towards the top of the box, headed away by a diving Columbia defender. And now Salmon works it up to Hebeker left side. Hebeker, with all sorts of fancy footwork, tries to bring it back towards the inside. Does eventually play it back. And now the Pride, from the back line, look to send it forward. Good header there by Madigan of the Lions, trying to get it away from the Pride. And now they really try to get it out as Goodman was being pestered by Matthew Vowinkle. Just had to get it out. Didn't make a great pass, but the Pride still able to have their defense work well enough for the time being, as now it gets to Reaper's feet left of the midfield circle, and he sends it back to his keeper Ashton to regroup. Sent out towards midfield, Etienne Bodie, top of the midfield circle rather, gives over to Hebeker far sideline. Hebeker. A lot of twisting and turning, can't find a teammate. Now finally does find George O'Malley at the midfield line above the circle. O'Malley gives it over to Salmon, far sideline. He sends it towards the box. Vowinkle trying to jump with a header, and Goodman able to brave the storm that was Matthew Vowinkle, charging right at him and snatched that one out of the air to stop the scoring chance. 14 minutes to go here in the first half of action at Hofstra Soccer Stadium. It's the Hofstra Pride's season finale here against the Columbia Lions, and they lead at 2-0. Again, Petter Soelberg with a pair of goals in the early going. Sent way to the back line of Columbia. Players trying to communicate on the pitch who wanted to pick that up. They just let it go back to their keeper Goodman, who tried to move it forward. Now it gets played towards the feet for the Hofstra Pride of Stephen Mason. Quickly it's turned over though, and Columbia tries to make do. Sent back over to the Hofstra half, and George O'Malley sends it back into the Columbia end. Both teams just trying to scramble to keep it in one half here. Now eventually Columbia settles it down in their own. Far sideline, and tripping over the ball there briefly was Uri Zaitz, and he had a little bit of a hard time corralling that one. Here comes Hebecker down the far sideline. He kind of trips and stumbles a bit, and then eventually the play is whistled down, or the action is whistled down.
Yeah, you saw a little bit of deception trying to be played on both ends by both the Pride and the Lions. Hebecker's been doing a good job of doing that all game, and I think Columbia's finally catching on to his tricks, trying to stifle any offensive chance they've got.
So now Matthew Vowinkle comes off, and it will be Felix Smith-Halle here in his last home regular season match at Hofstra University, getting a little bit of time as we're starting to see a lot of the players we mentioned getting senior day ceremonies and plaques and jerseys during the last match start to come out and get some of their last minutes here on the home turf. Even though it is early in the first half, still you love to see that Richard Nuttall does respect the fact that some of these seniors have worked very, very hard to get where they are at the moment, and they're trying to make it pay off right here. Now Jason Ramirez, the speedy freshman, has it at his feet. He tries to work it out of a corner, which he continues to go further into, and then thanks to two Lion defenders putting on some pressure, it goes out of play. And we're going to see what the call is here.
Yeah, it looked to be a pair of Lions pestering freshman Jason Ramirez into that corner. We're still looks to be a corner kick for the Pride.
Looks like it will be Stephen Mason makes his way over to that left corner, and he's going to set it up. Sends it in. Trying to get a head on it is Reaper, and for Goodman, the keeper of the Lions, he had one of his own teammates almost screening him there for a quick second as Reaper tried to throw his head at the ball, and he could not make contact. However, if he did, it could have been a little bit more of a dangerous situation there for the Pride and Columbia, but instead, score still remains the same, 2-0. Just about 11 minutes to go here in this first half of action between the Hofstra Pride and Columbia Lions, with the home Hofstra Pride holding the 2-0 lead. Far side, Columbia looking to see if they can string it into the Hofstra half and keep it there for a little bit. Something they've had trouble doing throughout the early stages of this match. Near side trying to find Matthew Swain. A pass is broken up by the Pride. Smith-Halle gets a head on it, and now Jason Ramirez tries to take it away, but he too is not able to complete the task he wanted to, thanks to Vanna Markarian stepping in the way of that one for Columbia. He is one of their two captains, along with Andrew Stevens. Both teams with number 6s wearing armbands, and here's Hofstra's number 6, Tausch, sending it up to Hebecker, right wing. He gets slide tackled into and then does not flinch as he tried to advance it forward, but the ball still goes out of play past the goal line, and Goodman going to set up a goal kick.
Got to admit, look at Tausch looking like a tank, getting sidelined by a Columbia Lion, and was able to stay on his feet as the Columbian Lions march up with the ball.
36th minute of action here. And that one booted directly out of play to the top row of the bleachers here at Hofstra Soccer Stadium in the right half near sideline. Thank goodness nobody was up there to get hit, or at least in that specific seat on the bleachers. The folks around were definitely taking a look at it.
You even saw a little bit of confusion from some of the Columbia Lions when Goodman aired it out. Like, why did he decide to do that?
Tausch to the right of the box holds, tries to maneuver away from a handful of defenders, and does so. Now gives over to Stephen Mason, who also tries to get it through the legs of a pair of defenders. And then eventually Columbia takes over, and a curling kick finds its way out of play near sideline. Pride quickly throw it in, and now Stephen Mason tries to work it near sideline towards the middle, but it's headed away very well by the captain Stevens of the Lions. Quickly Columbia tries to get a lead pass working here. Zaitz all the way up to Ogundayan, and he's just not able to catch up to that one as Hofstra breaks it up. And the Pride now hold it on the back line. Stephen Mason working it back to Salmon. Ball just over the Hofstra half, now sent back into the Columbia half. Lions trying to work something out here, but cannot, as Stevens' kick came all the way down, took 2 hops, and then found itself in the arms of Alex Ashton.
Yeah, you almost saw a bit of a risky play there. Ashton almost coming out of the 18 to try and get that ball away from the Lions, and now he's physically doing that, kicking it back to their end of the pitch.
Smith-Halle gives it a header forward. Exactly 8 minutes on the dot remaining here in the first half of action. The Hofstra Pride hold a 2-0 lead in their regular season finale against the Columbia Lions. Petter Soelberg's pair of first half goals are the reasons for the tallies. Stevens trying to curl his way out of some trouble in the right corner near side in his own half. Eventually does get it out of harm's way. And now Ogundayan trying to move something here and does give it to Swain. Swain gives back to Timoney, and then it goes out of play near side. Probably going to throw it right back in here. Quickly sent up the near sideline. Hendrik Hebeker trying to keep it at his feet, but instead it goes out of play. And now quickly Columbia gets it back in their favor. A kick into the Hofstra half. Doesn't make it to its intended spot. Columbia going to try again here. Stevens has it headed away by the other number 6, his opposite number in Luka Tausch. And then a high, booming kick finds its way out of play far side into the medical school parking lot here at Hofstra University.
Oh, man, that one didn't even sniff the pitch. That one was out of here in a hurry. Little desperation kick from the Columbia Lions there.
6 minutes, 35 seconds to go here in this first half. And it's Petter Soelberg's 2 goals that have a 2-0 lead up on the board for the Hofstra Pride. Salmon to throw it in from right near that Columbia bench, right half far sideline for the Pride. Looking for some traffic to dissipate towards the top of that box. Tosses it in. Frederick Reaper couldn't get the head on it, but Stevens does so for Columbia. Now a high arcing kick again finds its way out of play and into the parking lot, far sideline. And the Pride quickly throw it back in. Columbia trying to work it away from the back line. And now we're going to see what the call is here as it took an interesting bounce and ended up going out of play far sideline. Officials say it went off of Columbia. So the Pride now with 5.5 here in the first half are going to try to throw it back in and see what else they can get before the half comes to an end. Ball immediately out of play again past the Columbia bench. And now Columbia going to get the throw in this time around.
Yeah, ball's not moving too far from that far side right now. The ball's continuously going out of play. You got to see the Hofstra Pride just trying to defend their lead, keep it away from the Lions' feet as much as they can.
Pride again quickly working it back. EDN Bodie with a head of steam for a quick second before the ball was kicked away from him by a Columbia defender. And here's Salmon ready to throw it in front of the Columbia bench. Just kind of chucks it right in to the feet of Luka Tausch. Gets it back from him, now gives it back. And Frederick Reaper in the left half of the midfield circle now holds. Sends it over to Bodie, or at least attempts to, on that far side before a Lions defender comes in and heads it away. Stephen Mason trying to keep it in far sideline. So too is Etienne Bodie. Kept in very well. And now Columbia is going to try to regroup here. And with 4.5, try to make something work. From the middle of the field, near side to Matthew Swain. Swain, 5 points for Columbia this year, 2 goals, 1 assist. Looking to make something work. Passing it around the back line now. It goes from Stevens in the middle of the field and works all the way far side, where it's then passed up to Vito Luzio. And Luzio, with a lot of fancy footwork there, only to give it away to the Hofstra Pride. Ramirez trying to find an open space, finds Hebeker at the second A in the CAA logo, right side, or right half near side. Now he drops to Seufert, deep right wing, sends it through the box. Bodie keeps it in front. Bodie knocks it down with his foot, moves to the inside, and then Stevens with a heads-up play there, heads-up effort there, being able to step in front and kick it out of play with 3.5 to go. Pride to throw it in far sideline with Shane Salmon handling the responsibilities.
Yeah, Hofstra threatening a little bit to score there. They aired it back in. Vowinkle almost got a head on it, put it between the pipes. Smart heads-up play by Stevens to kick it out of play.
Thrown right in and against Stevens on top of a ball that makes his way out of play, puts his head on it, and sends it out. So Stephen Mason trots to the left corner for the second time this evening, third time overall for the Pride.
Yeah, another quarter kick. Let's see if they can get something a little more out of this. They've been threatening to score for the past 4 minutes or so. Maybe they can go into that second half with a bigger cushion.
Mason faked for a second like he was going to go. I just don't know if the officials were ready or if he just wanted to give a little bit of an issue to Columbia, as now he skips one into the box, catches the deepest edge of the box, then hits the side of the net, and it goes out of play. So again, he's going to line it up for a fourth corner kick. Sends it towards the net, and Goodman, the bright neon green jersey, leaps out of a crowd of blue and white to snag that one and stop the offensive opportunity. Luka Tausch, how about that play right there? Far sideline, slides, takes the ball away from the Columbia defender, then still has the wherewithal to stand back up and try to pass it around. But now Columbia takes it back with 2 to go in the first half. And it's Markarian, the other Columbia captain, trying to move it. Work to the middle of the field. Now near side to Swain. Swain over to Luzio, middle of the field. Back to Swain near side. Minute 35 to go in the first. Stevens back line to Markarian. Right edge of the midfield circle. To the back line now, and then back to the right edge of the circle where it's Timoney. Eventually worked back to Markarian. About a minute 15 to go in the first half. And Columbia just continues to take it even farther into their own end, where it's then played back to Goodman, and Goodman sends it sailing to the far sideline. Goes down that sideline and eventually rolls out of play in front of the Hofstra bench. 1 minute now remains here in the first half of action, and again, it's the Hofstra Pride with a 2-0 lead in their season finale against the Columbia Lions, thanks to 2 goals coming off the feet of Petter Soelberg. It's like offside may have been called there. And the Pride going to try to regroup here. 30 seconds to go in the half. Luka Tausch not in all that much of a hurry to set it down and get a free kick going.
Yeah, we'll see how much damage Luka Tausch can do with minimal time left in the half. Only about 20 seconds.
Gives it a kick with 15 to go towards the top of the box. Swain right out there to head it away for Columbia. 10 to go in the first half. O'Malley high arcing kick. Near side is played by Ramirez. Seufert in the middle. 3, 2, and 1. And that will do it for the first half of action here at Hofstra Soccer Stadium, where again, as we mentioned, it is a 2-0 Hofstra halftime lead. And Tony, you can't talk about this 2-0 lead without talking about Petter Soelberg offensively.
No, you cannot, Andrew. He is 66% of the way to a hat trick. He has been on fire all day so far, finishing the job twice. And hey, if it weren't for him, the score would be knotted at 0 right now.
It definitely would. Petter Soelberg has been making all sorts of fantastic offensive moves atop the box throughout this entire match, and has really had some heat seekers find the back of the net. But it's not only been that, it's just been the aggressive play offensively, not only by himself, but defensively for the Hofstra Pride. We are seeing several different players step up. Guys like Leonard Seufert, guys like Etienne Bodie, guys like Adam Saville, all stepping in the way of several Columbia passes and really not allowing this Columbia Lions squad to get into an offensive flow. And that's something that we see a lot here with the Hofstra Pride, especially when they're going in good matches like this, and especially down this 5-match unbeaten streak stretch that they're riding.